Sunjin arrived with Minsu at his place and took her to his room. He didn't like seeing her like that. Seeing her sad was the last thing he wanted. He wished he could have protected her from the journalists sooner. He started wiping her face, telling her that he was there now and that no one was going to hurt her again. Minsu, still traumatized from the whole situation, didn't know what to say. Sunjin couldn't help himself. He pulled her into his arms and comforted her. He gave her his t-shirt and told her to take a shower and get changed. Sunjin was in the kitchen making soup for Minsu since she had been exposed to the cold. His butler walked in, shocked to see him cooking, something he had never done before. The butler asked him what was going on, but Sunjin told him to take the day off. The butler, confused, thanked him and walked out. Minsu walked into the kitchen and watched Sunjin as he cooked. Even though she was still traumatized, she couldn't stop thinking about how cute he looked. Sunjin told her that he had put away both her phone and his, and that he wanted them to simply enjoy the moment together, away from the outside noise, and that they could talk about everything the next day. Minsu smiled and agreed. They both sat by the dining table, and Sunjin fed Minsu the soup he had made. He told her she needed to take it so she wouldn't catch a cold. Realizing how caring he was, Minsu thanked him. Later that night, they cuddled on the couch and watched a movie together. Being together in that moment made it seem as if nothing else mattered. Sunjin looked at her and asked if she regretted being with him. Minsu told him she didn't, and that he was the best thing that had ever happened to her. Smiling, Sunjin admitted that he didn't want to lose her, and that he wished they could have at least gotten the chance to spend more time together and enjoy each moment before things started going the way they had. Minsu told him they could take this chance to do so. Sunjin agreed and pulled her into his arms. He couldn't believe how much he loved her, how a total stranger who had happened to walk into his life one day had become the most important thing in his world. He kissed her forehead gently. Minsu couldn't help but blush. Just feeling his touch and his kiss gave her butterflies in her stomach. She thought about the kiss they had shared earlier. Even though it was unexpected, she couldn't stop thinking about it. It felt good to her to have someone protect her and fight for her in that way. They both fell asleep holding each other on the couch, as if they didn't want to let each other go. The next morning, Sunjin was sitting in his big, fancy dining room, having breakfast with Minsu. He asked if she liked the clothes he had gotten for her, explaining that he had sent his assistant to pick something up since her dress from the day before had been ruined. Minsu told him she liked the outfit and that it fit her perfectly. Sunjin looked at her, realizing they needed to start talking about what had happened the night before. Even though he didn't want to, he knew it was important. He asked Minsu if she had seen the pictures and videos circulating on the internet. Minsu said no. Sunjin told her to look now. As she went through her phone, looking at the news, her face changed. She was more upset about the negative things people were saying about her. Sunjin held her hand and told her that he knew this would happen eventually, and that he would protect her with everything he had. Minsu looked at him, wondering how things had escalated so quickly. She had lost her best friend, and now her face was all over the news. Sunjin told her that Kim had blackmailed him, threatening to post their pictures first, so he had no choice but to do what he did. He explained that if Kim had posted the pictures, it would have seemed as if Minsu had been chasing him. But his public act of kissing her clarified that he was the one who loved her and had pursued her. Minsu was mostly hurt by the fact that someone she had called a friend would do that to her. She wondered how much Kim must have loved Sunjin to resort to hurting her like that. Minsu returned to school, sitting in her room and realizing that Kim had actually blocked her on everything. She didn't want their friendship to end that way, especially because of a guy. Sunjin had told her to lay low for a bit until he solved everything, which meant taking days off work. Sunjin walked into his office to find his father waiting for him. He had known his father would come eventually. His father was watching the video of Sunjin and Minsu on his tablet, and he was furious. Sunjin greeted his father, who ignored him and continued watching the video of him and Minsu. Standing there, looking at him, Sunjin already had an idea of what was coming, and whatever the circumstances, he knew he had to face it. His father looked at him with disappointment and asked how Minsu had managed to seduce him and why he had fallen for the trap. Sunjin told him that he was not seduced. His father, growing angry, told him that he knew his son would never stoop so low as to ruin the family's reputation, and that, to make matters worse, he had gotten intimate with a girl in front of everyone at the office. Sunjin admitted that it was wrong of him to kiss her in front of everyone, especially at work, but he loved her and wanted to be with her. Before Sunjin could continue, his father slapped him angrily and warned him never to say those words again, declaring that he would not let him ruin their family and reputation in front of the whole world. He demanded that whatever he had with Minsu end immediately. As he spoke, he called in his assistant and instructed him to inform the PR team to release a statement claiming that Minsu had been aware of Sunjin's status and had seduced him to secure an internship at Tech Bloom. He further ordered that she be dismissed from her internship. The assistant agreed and left to carry out the orders. Sunjin looked at his father with rage in his eyes, telling him it was unfair to punish Minsu and insisting that she was a good person. If anyone should be punished, it should be him, not an innocent woman. His father stepped closer, his expression cold, and warned Sunjin that if he did not put an end to his defiance, he would do more than ruin Minsu's reputation. He would ensure that she was dismissed from her university as well. With that, he walked out, leaving Sunjin standing there, torn between protecting Minsu and knowing just how ruthless his father could be when he wanted his way. Later that night, Minsu was having dinner alone in the school cafeteria when she noticed everyone staring at her and whispering. Some students even pointed at her and called her a shameless seducer. Confused, she looked at her phone and saw the statement released by Tech Bloom. She read it again, hoping she had misunderstood, but the words were clear. It was about her. Panic set in as she realized how this could affect her future. She immediately ran outside, her mind racing. She had worked so hard to be where she was, and now it was all being taken away. Desperate for answers, she called Sunjin, but he didn't answer. She sent him messages, asking what was going on and why such a statement had been released. Overwhelmed by the attention she was receiving, she decided to return to her room. That night, Sunjin had been invited to a family dinner to welcome his younger sister, who had just returned from studying abroad. When he arrived, they were already seated, eating. His little sister ran to him and hugged him tightly, telling him she had missed him. Sunjin smiled, touching her hair, and told her she had grown taller and even more beautiful. They both sat down to join their parents at the dining table. Before he could start eating, his father asked if he had ended things with Minsu as instructed. Sunjin remained silent. His father, growing angrier, asked him again. Frustrated, Sunjin stood up and told him that he would not end things. He lashed out, saying that he had spent his entire life doing what his father wanted. He studied tech as he was told, sacrificed his childhood to become a genius as expected, and even gave up his dream of painting to run the company. Yet now, the one thing he truly wanted, the one thing he loved, his father was trying to take away from him. His mother, seeing his anger, tried to calm him down, but he ignored her and declared that all he wanted was Minsu and that he would do anything if it meant he could be with her. Realizing that everyone was staring at him, he turned to his father, who had already risen from his seat, his face red with fury. His father insisted that he would never allow it, that he had built their family's wealth and reputation for years and would not let a foreigner come in and take it away. He declared that Sunjin would marry a Korean woman from a prominent family, have pure Korean children, and continue the family legacy. With that, he walked away. Sunjin, equally furious, stormed out, got into his car, and drove off angrily. As he drove, he noticed a call coming through from Minsu, but he ignored it and kept driving. Meanwhile, Minsu sat in her room staring at her phone, waiting for Sunjin's call. She needed to talk to him. She needed an explanation. She tried calling again, but still, he didn't answer. Sunjin, drowning himself in whiskey at a bar, was losing himself to the idea of letting go of the woman he loved. It drove him crazy, knowing that going against his father would only bring harm to Minsu. His phone rang again. It was Minsu.